Hi everyone, welcome to Change Pace Poetry number 10. I'm Leland Jamieson. This morning I'd like to read two poems expressing parental love for a youngster. Both are in the arena of vocational direction. One is a poem expressing rather dramatic action, and the other expresses non-action, both of them a reflection, I think, of love. So we'll begin with the first poem, and I want to tell you, for non-flying listeners, that a three-point landing in the world of aviation means a perfect one, and that the plane comes down on all three wheels at once, the two under the wing and the one under the nose if it has that kind of design, or the one under the tail if it is a design like that. So just that's a little background. The name of this poem is called A Landing, and it is written in memory of my dad. You lived to climb the wind-sock's luffing breeze in Fairchild's Pitcairn mail wings, DC-3s, almost as much as you had lived to write, to mount imagination's wings and flight. Your writing and your flying, both paid well, gave way before a pancreatic cell. Metastasized, it threw you down in bed to contemplate what clearly lay ahead for you, your wife, and children you wished now to spend more time with, what time would allow. Thus, making each day count as one might gold, you welcomed, hip and thigh, your 5-year-old, his needling elbow bound in pillow's truce, so you could read him rhymes from Mother Goose, and coach him how to read in turn to you. And writing, how give him a bird's-eye view. You'd need to model it if you had time and strength, neither thicker now than a dime. At last your son gave you an open door. What does an author do? It hard? A chore? Against your wife's advice, you are too weak. You drove your son down to your suite to peek inside your heart. Your fingers struck their chord. Behind the paper bale popped up and soared page 1 of Jamie the Balloonist, line by line to your electric's clattering whine. Which was more real? The Jamie at your heel who tugged your sleeve, or that one on the reel of platen, paper, ink, imagination, ascending by balloon in your creation? The quick trip over in the car had caught you short of time to build a solid plot, and solve the hero's problem to his liking, his readers too, by means they'd view as striking. Now Jamie's restless, Deus Ex, Big Sis, the end. You eased him up your lap's abyss to read aloud his yarn, though it felt slim. He wriggled down when Big Sis rescued him by motorized balloon she was commanding. Your plot, too rushed, not quite a 3-point landing. Now, this poem is a reflection of love in non-action. It's in memory of my stepfather. It's called The Ruminating Voice of an Architect. Highly desired, you've often heard me say, is every person's self-direction, clear of overt action which may interfere with what another sees as his own way. The course that I embraced gave me free play, through rendering pencils dance and deft begin, to draw a client's eyes and sober mien to plans and specs for which he'd gladly pay. You'd have made one hell of an engineer, although your own direction I'd not doubt. Should I have urged another, against my fear that I had curbed your freedom, stomped it out? I kept it close to vest. I would not shove, believing freedom closest kin to love. Now, before we go, let me invite you to visit my website, jamiesonspoetry.com. 2 pages of interest to this Change Pace Poetry series. One is the Anunnaki Iraq page, and the other is the You Rhyme It page. The Anunnaki Iraq page will give you background on the UFO series in these readings, and the You Rhyme It page is the free module or tutorial that I invite any listener wishing to learn to write easily and without tears in verse to look into. Check it out. Exercise the instructions, particularly the reverse principle. Send me the best of maybe a half a dozen of your new poems written on the reverse principle, and to the 3 individuals who send me the best individual poems of the whole lot, I will write an individual critique to each of you. And if it's really, really good, I will ask you if I may have permission to read it on this program. So that's what I do. That's what you're invited to do. Thank you for joining me. See you soon.